Okay, Michelle K here once again, Life in Los Altos, and this time I have Jimmie Harrison, who
Thank you.
is a long-term. You weren't living in Long Beach at the time, but you were living in Harbor City
In Harbor
at
City.
at the time of the 1933 Long Beach earthquake on March 10th. And so Jimmie's going to just tell us his memories of that day, and of the afterwards and what happened afterwards also. So go ahead, Jimmie, take it away.
Okay. Remember, in '33, I was 7 years old, and we were in a little frame house in the city of Harbor City, and I was playing with my sister, who was 2 years older than me, and she was on one end of the couch, and I was on the other end, and we were playing choo-choo train, and that's where you put your feet together, and
Oh, you
you
just go
push,
back and
you
forth.
go back and
Okay.
forth,
Okay.
and then it was about 5 o'clock or whatever the time was, and
I guess it was.
the quake hit, and it was just we were in shock what's going on, and my father was in the kitchen and he come running out, and my mother was screaming tornado, and my
Ah.
father grabbed my arm and grabbed my sister's hand in the other one and ran right out the front door, and it was shaking, the ground was moving, it was shaking pretty hard, and there was all the other people in the block was out on the street too,
Hmm.
and so we stayed out there, and then it quit, and then about seemed like 2 or 3 minutes later there was another one, and we thought, oh my goodness, the world's coming to an end. It
Oh, wow.
just shook so hard. So we stayed outside, and they had quite a few aftershocks.
Oh.
In fact, I got to stay up to 11 o'clock that night because they were they were shaking, and the other funny part, it's funny now, but it was real serious then, was my brother was in the front room, and he's sitting on the couch on the chair just like this, and every time it started to shake he'd stand up and go to the front door, grab the doorknob, and it would quit, and he would come back and sit down, and I bet he did that a dozen times.
So there were that many aftershocks. Why, you're the only person that has said that. You know, when you're, as far as your mother thinking it was a tornado, somebody else I interviewed said it was the noise
Oh
that
yeah.
really, got people at first.
Oh yes, you knew it. It was loud. It was loud. But my mother was from Oklahoma, and that's why she said tornado,
Yeah.
tornado. And it broke dishes in a cupboard, and it was, it just messed everything up.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
after 11 o'clock, we finally figured, well, we're going to go to bed because we were sleepy. And we went to bed, and of course it shook during the night too, but it was small shake,
Yeah.
small shake, and that went on for quite a while. I mean,
Wow.
for 3 or 4 days, it seems like it was
Little aftershocks.
like
Huh.
and
Wow.
then a friend told me it went at 6 o'clock in the morning for 2 weeks, and he said I didn't set my alarm clock. I just wait till the quake wake me up, and I'd go to work. So anyway,
That's funny.
and then a couple of days later, we went out to the backyard, and about 10, 15 feet from the house was a hole in the ground, a big hole, and it was about 6 feet deep. It must have been 10 feet long and 2 or 3, 4 feet wide
Wow.
in the ground. So the ground just opened up,
Wow. That's
and
wild.
we had to have a guy come in and fill it back in and do it.
Yeah, your mother didn't want you to play in
No,
it.
and
Go
I want to play in the dirt. I wanted to get down in there, and she.
End of the earth. That's what I would be thinking.
Yeah.
Did that hole pop up? Do you think that was like days later, or do you think like that happened as soon as the earthquake happened, but you didn't notice it till later? I wonder if.
Well, I think the big hole in the ground was from the big, strong shake.
Shake and
The
then.
big first one. That's always the biggest one.
Yeah, and then you just happened to notice that nobody had gone out in the backyard,
Yeah,
and then you
so
went.
you bet.
Yeah, oh, that's wild.
Anyway, it was real scary at the time. It's funny now that the things happen,
Yeah.
but that time it was real serious.
Yeah, other people I've talked to, I just talked to a woman and we figured out she was just 5, and to have such a strong memory of something, obviously it was really
Right.
momentous, and yeah.
Well, the houses we lived in were little frame houses, and a lot of them, ours had a foundation, but a lot of them were just sitting right on top of the ground. And when the ground moved, of course, that house is going to go, move. And
So are a lot of them just thrown off those?
oh yes, a lot of them was on Long Beach, and they were made of, like downtown was a lot of brick. It was all brick with no reinforcement in it, and they just all crumbled.
Yeah, lots of piles of brick everywhere. All right. Well, thank you, Jimmie. This is the second time Jimmie has been kind enough to share memories with me of Long Beach, and I always appreciate all your stories, even all the ones he tells me off camera that I wish everybody could hear. I really enjoy you, Jimmie. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.